spelling tea. Hello. Don't mind me spilling tea on my bed. Doing great. Doing great. It's like pooling nicely though. I'm trying to see if I have tissues around. Let me quick check. Long story short. Great. And no, but that's all. Apparently I have no tissues. Wait, do you know where it is? Just trying to get, it's like, I gotta find my glasses so I'm not blind, and then, oh, just tea. Where did I, okay, there's my tea. Okay. And I missed the trash can. We're doing great. She rises, yes. I am here. Sort of here. Let me pull up chat on the phone. Me. My channel. My stream. Oh god, I can hear myself. No. Okay, mute. Hi! I have new internet. I am very curious if we're going to be able to actually stream King's Quest without it dying. This won't be super long. Maybe like 2 hour stream. So, till 4? Oh no, that would be 1 hour. Hour and a half, 2 hours. We could do 5 too. Because I'm going to see Camelot the musical tonight. So that'll be exciting. But I am also not musical ready, if you could tell by the lack of makeup. Well, my hair was brushed. I live in Florida, so it's now, ratchet. And I'm gonna try to look cute. For some reason, despite loving Arthurian legend for years, I don't have anything remotely Arthurian legend-esque in terms of like shirts and stuff. So, oh, we're 49% done. Let's go. It's pretty snazzy. I'm gonna have to find some way to be cute, because all of my everything I can think is like long sleeves, and I can't do that. I do have my red velvet skirt. It's Camelot colors. Just need to find a shirt. Maybe that's the go-to. Red velvet. Psh. Camelot. Very rambly today. My apologies. Playing. Still looking out, isn't it? I finished my tea. So no more tea catastrophe. Catastrophe, you could say. Gotta get these puns in. Well, safe to say that new internet is still not enough to fight off King's Quest.
run dry.
That's cute, love, but I don't have the energy for a pun war, I'm afraid.
It was worth a shot.
Come on, let's bust out of here. Wouldn't you rather be on an adventure? We could take that trip to Klima we've been talking about.
That does sound lovely, but every moment with you is all the adventure I could ever hope for. It's best to take care of these things now. The doctors are pretty clear about that. It's time we get fixed.
All right.
You called for me?
Yes. Your grandfather and I have something we would like to tell you.
You should probably take a seat. Bartholomew, hold on, let me gather my thoughts. No.
Duh. I don't know what to do about King's Quest because it just doesn't stream properly. I'm wondering if we just finish it up and then I scoop up the achievements not on stream to 100%. Or is it bad enough to where you think we should just start something else? Like, what's the level of enjoyment? Because we could start Fate's Day Night and Coffee Talk. If I didn't get King's Quest off my laptop sooner rather than later, just because it is a lot. I don't have the lag on it, but basically, do we keep trying with King's Quest to finish it at least, and then I go back for achievements, or is it bad enough to where we should just go straight to something else? Because we have Coffee Talk and Fate's Day Night, which are my next two. Do you think I'm going to alternate between? Might be able to go ahead and get 535, 1.8. Okay. 1.8. Yeah, because we Coffee Talk and there's Coffee Talk 2, and then Fate's Day Night, and then, eventually we're supposed to be getting Hollow Atraxia, finally, remastered, and on all of our streaming platforms, not streaming, our gaming platforms. Type Moon. What have you got first? Melty Blood. Melty Blood's always an option, too. only options fun, which on Holy Night, which I don't know anything about. What's this about? Oh, it's this one. Okay. I do know some stuff about it. Fate Grand Order. Tsukihime. Yeah, why isn't Tsukihime on here? Aniplex. What's going on here? Madoka Magica. Dreamline. Fate. Show Holy Night. Oh, all games. Underline. Stay live stream. You need 0 too, because I'm not gaslighting myself. It's Traxia that's coming, right? Fate tab. Yeah, Traxia. Because I know I'm telling space, but I could go ahead and take off like Stumble Guys. I honestly need that downloaded at all times. Or even Stardew. Would I lose my progress? Let's see. Valley. Steam. Cool. So you can uninstall Stardew without losing your progress. Because that would definitely give me enough space for at least coffee talk. And then I don't think that's installed now. No, that's just me. Oh wait, I forgot. If you expand, it'll light up the ones that are. Oh yeah, Danger on Deception Island. Let's go. I don't know if my 100% are downloaded. So you finish them. Bum, 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 bum. Midnight in Salem. Yeah, so Danger on Deception. Finish up Midnight in Salem. Only got 5% left. Well, I'll play the whole game, but I think there's only one achievement I didn't get. Hi, my internet is still ass. Unsurprising. So right now the debate I'm having is, do we still try to finish King's Quest and then I just go back to get the rest of the achievements not on stream? Or do we just start Coffee Talk? Because that shouldn't kill my... That should stream fine. Because we didn't have any problem with Amnesia. And we don't have any problem with Nancy or Pajama Sam. So that's debate. What do you think, Bestie? Because I love King's Quest. It's just so laggy. And he is the king now, so sounds off most of it. Just starting coffee talk might be the best. Okay. Do you want to do that this stream? Or just do some of our casual stuff? Let's uninstall Stardew for now. Whee! And then let's install Coffee Talk. Alright. Bam. Guitar better. Play a full game of deep on hockey. There you go, I can do that. That's how I felt this morning. It's like, oh no, I have to think and make decisions. Oh god. Now, question is, where is my mouse? There it is. Sweet. Hello, strategy. If anyone wants to jump on with me, more than welcome. It's too hot for my hair to be down. So now, I'm gonna be screaming. Yeah, I'll try a speedrun free time to get King's Quest done so we can get off the computer and still have the nice 100%. Okay. So, deep hockey. What is Odyssey? Deep hockey. Oh, you're still at the library? Okay, okay. I see how it is. Are you avoiding your brother? Oh, I forgot there's no music when it comes to Golf with Friends. I forgot to put on our League of Legends lo-fi. It's been so long since we've done Golf with Friends. I guess you guys just have to listen to the same. Why is my mouse not working? Bam. Well, that wasn't super effective. Is it the type of book? Does it not like strategy? Let's try And They Were Roommates? Oh, is it dislodged maybe? There you go. Okay, the little dongle just wasn't plugged in all the way. Wee. Let's go. everything's falling down.
Bam! Problem for me after I stream. Oh shit. Wait. Oh. This is very effective. I'm doing fantastic. Ha! Woohoo. Yeah, 'cause I haven't done any of my to-do list today. Need to clean the living room, exercise, actually get ready for concert. I'll exercise and get ready first, and then what I have time for is what I have time for. Wee. Oh, keep going. Do not stop there. Wee. Okay, get in there. Par, let's go. Catapult, no. Go 3? Nope, that was the wrong call. Go 2? Okay, right call if I'm on the completely wrong side. So we're gonna... do we think I can get the angle? No, I cannot. Why is my laptop freaking out? Golf is just too powerful. Okay. Launch. We're gonna do 2.5. Nope. Gonna now do 2.5. Bam! Par 3. Doing fantastic. Oh, that's fun. Wee! Oh shit, fuck, no, okay.
Laptop, stop freaking out.
It's just golf. Okay. Wee, let's go. Can I make this trick shot? No. But I could go straight. Bam! How do I get over there? Oh, there's a little hole in the wall. Oh, no. Okay. So we don't actually want to immediately go through the hole, and that was enough. That's not good. Don't overheat yourself for the sake of gameplay. Your health is much more important. England needs to get with the times. We have global warming. You guys need AC. You're right, fans don't do as much as they should, so. Should be the politicians' new campaign. Bring AC. Are you tired of global warming? Or have you heard of AC? Just watch it. It's fantastic. I think if I just go all the way, I can avoid every. Oh no, that was not it. Bam. Nope. Stop freaking out, laptop. I don't know what's wrong with you today, but you're gonna survive. It's just golf. Ba-ba-bum. Wee. Let's go. Oh. Well, that's not very nice, is it? That's nice, though. Okay. I have seen. Okay, yeah, I guess next week we'll start, coffee talk. And then I'll, in my free time, start working on King's Quest so we can also get Fate up in here. But I think I need King's Quest gone before I'll have enough room for Fate. Fate's not super big, but King's Quest is taking up a lot of my space. So I'll work on that. But for now, we'll start coffee talk. But yeah, AC. Instead of taking away trans people's rights, they should just give people AC. Gotta focus on the real issues here. Birdie! Fate!
For me. Someone else
Got coffee talk for me. I have cool people in my life. I'm doing fantastic. I'm going the other way. Oh, look, there's no rail. Okay, you're still pulling it off. Bam! Oh, no. Okay. I have a lot of Fate cosplays coming up too. Well, a lot. I have two. I have one this year and one planned for next year. Because I am sometimes, rarely, but sometimes too ambitious. Oh, they're not at that stage yet? It's okay. My government is... I don't even know. My government's so bad, I have a countdown in my Instagram stories until they're gone. After years of saying we need to get out of war in the Middle East, what are we gonna do? Likely unless if Congress shoots it down, go back into war with the Middle East. And this time, it's gonna be a nuclear war, because fantastic. Hey, I'll take a government that does nothing over...
I miss Biden era.
Not much happened during Biden era. This is really a tricky time. Yeah. Yes, we'll swing back eventually. It's just the question of will it... the consequence... Okay.
What? Stop freaking out.
Why are you freaking out? Woo! Look at that. Beautiful. Actually, I think if I give it some power. Bam! No. Yeah. I just want someone competent. That's too much to ask for.
Things instead
Making their entire campaign about taking away rights and access and funding. And hatred. It is so much energy to hate people. Like it's a lot of energy. Energy that I don't have. Or care about people. Or the people in your just your small circle. That's also so much energy that I don't have. And I'm not sure how other... This isn't a fun...
it's because I'm touching the cord. Is that if I throw this up here, will it stop freaking out? And now the toggle's loose again. Bam.
See, that stops it freaking out. Yeah. That's the problem in the US too, is that we only have two parties.
Most people in the country lean moderate on most things. It certainly becomes an issue.
Because I wouldn't consider myself a Democrat at all, but I am voting heavily Democrat for a while, just because it's all you can do. I like rights though. I like people to have their rights. And I do prefer for my tax dollars to actually go to helping citizens rather than funding stupid shit. Like, military parades. Not really for that. I prefer for that to go to Medicare, but oh well. This is why we can't have nice things. Don't fall off. Okay. Yeah. And there's a huge misinformation problem within the US too. I think a lot of it stems from social media, and obviously that goes both ways. But it's a new way of propaganda. Because even things that I would in theory agree with, then I look it up and like, that was blown out of proportion. Now that rarely happens, but you still sometimes see that. And then, woo! Achievement. Basically seeing a lot on the Republican side too, especially with platforms like Facebook. And also I feel like with our generation too, we grew up with YouTube, and a lot of YouTube really feeds that type of rhetoric of anger. So much of it is like, you gotta make fun of people, or we gotta demean people, right? To make ourselves feel better. It's the edgy content. And through that, it's left a breeding ground for anti-woman, anti-queer, anti-public rhetoric that only does harm. Where's my library? Library. See which achievement we need next. Games content achievements. Get part of there. Museum on you. But you know, even if it's not local content, there's so much like the edgy.
I feel like
you won't see just the plain edgy content anymore. That was more of what like I would have consumed back in middle school. Now it's just very obviously extremism, but it's that loosely edgy offensive content that has led to the straight offensive content being so actively available and in a way accepted. So, you know. Right? Like, here's the thing. I don't know. It's like, taxes do kind of suck. But if they're being used for the actual people, I don't mind as much. It's when they're being used for stupid shit, like a $1 million military parade. I'm like, absolutely not. But stuff like our suicide hotlines, yes. Stuff like healthcare, absolutely. These are good things. Oh. There we go. Whee! It's just, I don't know. I think that's where I do lean more independent, is like, I do think we need to lower our government spending because we're in such a high deficit. But that doesn't mean cutting the things that actually support our citizens. For the people. It means not giving giant tax cuts to billionaires and companies that don't. That's what that means. No. But none of that matters because right now the only way you vote is for whoever's not gonna take away your rights. Because that's the only option, which is really shitty. I would love to have a more educated vote than, like, actually look at, oh, what are we spending money on and what's gonna overall benefit, you know, citizens as much, yada yada, and actually be able to do more than just a little bit of research, because the only way to vote right now is who's gonna take away all of my rights or my loved ones' rights. And that's a sad place to be. But, you know, still doing my job though. As a voter. I've also been in a weird situation where I've been debating changing my registration. Just because right now I definitely do agree more with the Democratic Party, but also then I would lose my ability to try to get the least wacko Republican in the primaries. There. I did my job on that this time around too, and that didn't do much. Not for presidency, because that was a wash, but for representative. But no, my district chose the guy who doesn't even live here. But whatever. Who needs a representative that lives? And his number one issue was the border crisis. We all have a border. Like, yes, Florida does, but my area of Florida does not have a border. So I don't know what border crisis we're talking about, because we ain't got one. What we do have is homeowners insurance that's so high that people who've lived here their entire lives can't afford insurance and lose their houses, but I digress. Absolutely. The tax dollars should be going to helping people. Healthcare, roads, stuff like that. Not military parades, not for the president go to the Super Bowl. Because that was millions of dollars too for him to leave during halftime. Also kind of iconic for that to happen. We love Kendrick. We love Kendrick, we love SZA, we love Taylor, we love John Batiste. Let's go. Yeah, it's a shit show. It's the only way to put it. And now we're going to war. Actually, we're not yet. We're not oh, fuck. Okay. We're not manifesting it because that would be devastating. Oh. Nope. Yep. Absolutely. And I hate this trend in America being anti-public education too. Or anti-lunches, free lunches. Like, are you kidding me? do we have no humanity whatsoever? I think the hard part too is, like, I know people who vote the other way who literally relied on free lunches for their kids. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't believe in free lunches, but you got them! That's what you had? I don't understand. I'm just gonna let the timer run out. Kids should be fed. That shouldn't be controversial. I hate some of the discussions in this country too. Of, like, all the fentanyl stuff. Because yes, that is a problem. But painting it as a larger problem than things like, I don't know, death from pregnancy complications is insane. Because more people die yearly from pregnancy complications than people have died from fentanyl in this country in the past 20 years. But we don't care about women. And that's one of the big parts too. We don't care about pregnant women. We just don't care about women as a whole. It's really fun. We're doing great. It's fantastic. Everything's fine. Just like the web shoot. As long as you don't think too hard. Especially if you don't think about history, we're definitely doing fine. Yeah, because I mean, we still have free education until 18. Problem is that so many states are trying to push for privatize, which drains funding from the public schools because they've been giving vouchers to go private, which has been a big problem in the states, to either go private or to go homeschool. So it takes a lot of that resources from the public schools. And then there's been a push to get rid of, because we have free lunch and we have free and reduced. So just based on your financial standing, you either got free or just reduced. But that's still a huge difference. Just having something, you know. Because kids should be fed. And there's a lot of support that, you know, you perform better in school too when your brain is satiated, you know? Your brain works through food as well. So I think, at least Florida, we still have it. There's just been such a push to not. I don't know about other states, though. But I know Florida in particular is having a huge problem with the vouchers and stuff. And a lot of it, too, is because almost all of our private schools are Catholic. So if you're not Catholic, the only other option would be the homeschool. But I mean, we do have private, so not private, public. I wish my government was focused on vapes. You know, that is so much better than trying to get into wars we have. Actually, we do have a bit of business in, unfortunately, but we still shouldn't be a part of. and taking away rights and whatever. I wish we cared about vapes. But it's probably the same way I feel about, like, a fentanyl crisis. Like, yes, it's a problem. We need to fix it. But we also have these other problems that we need to fix too, that are even more so. Like the fact that we have some of the worst mortality for pregnant women in developed countries. Where am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Am I just going around and around? I think I need to get up there. Is this one where it's the middle column? What am I doing? Did I just charge? Bam! Yeah. Where's the hole? Oh, I have to drop down? Okay. Oh. I feel sorry for you. I wish you better than what's going on here. We're starting to see, though, shift in, more hatred towards Trump and stuff. And Trump and Elon have, you know, gone to odds now, which is pretty hilarious. They've had their breakup. But, oh, so close. Like, the city that I lived in finally turned blue in the last election, which is pretty cool because it hasn't since Obama. But Pensacola is sandwiched between military bases, right? Because we have the Navy base that's branded to Pensacola, but it's on the west side. And then if you go a little bit further down, we have an Air Force base as well. So this area is filled with a lot of veterans. And nothing going on is in the interest of the veterans as well. So, not really in their interest for this to be happening. Bam. Most UK likers, though, are old enough to vote, so that's good. But it is concerning that's the younger people that are polling this shit, though. Because, you know, Gen Z for a while was supposed to be, like, the most progressive, like, oh, we don't care about, you know, your sexuality, or your gender, or your race. And now, but again, I feel like it's what we talked about earlier in regards to social media and that type of extremism that's kind of flipped that on its head some. Like how we're having like a serious political conversation while playing golf. We're gonna full launch this. No, okay. Right? And that's the hard thing too, like, I'm trying to support the Democratic Party right now just because they're not gonna vote to take away their rights, but they're also not doing anything to stop this. And I know a lot of people are being paid off and being blackmailed because there's a lot of corruption running right now, just because this isn't how our country's run. We have checks and balances and they're not being used. We have our constitution and it's not being used, and the only reason why it wouldn't be is because there's enough. Am I supposed to go up the wall? Okay. Only reason why it wouldn't be is corruption. So from a certain level, I get why they're not doing anything, but still, if they're too scared to do their job, then they shouldn't have a job. But hey, I am honored. I used to not talk about it, like, hardly at all. But I don't know, not talking about it. Not that I really have a voice that's gonna influence people, but still bringing awareness to things that are happening do still matter, you know? Too often I talk to people and they don't know what's going on, and that's a problem. So I don't know, just doing what I can a little bit, because it's not good. Okay, we did a museum on hockey, escapists on dunk, not dunk. And so many people are just burying their head in the dirt. I get it. It's a lot. It's hard to process. And I try to have the 50-50 of being present to everything that's happening and still trying to live my life, because there's very little things I can do besides vote and bring awareness to stuff. But you know, it's, I don't know, like, even with all the potentially going to war stuff, nothing I can do about that. I also can't pretend it's not happening. Oh wait, no, I'll swim, yeah. No, I think it's hard too, because so much of this also affects people in my life. You can't really ignore it either, though. I do have trans people in my life, and they are going to be directly impacted by all of this. I do have brown people in my life who are all legal, but it doesn't matter because there's no due process. Exactly. It's not fun. There's nothing fun about it. Politics suck. I also feel like I have to talk about it a little bit, and I have to, like, stand my ground a bit, just because so many people are so comfortable with their bigotry and their ignorance. Like, there's a certain level of, I feel like we have to make people scared of that again. It's like, oh yeah, your views are dumb, without, like, directly knowing them, just to make them uncomfortable. Which just sounds like a terrible thing, but, you know, it's the whole, like, make Nazis scared again. thing of people shouldn't be comfortable being racist or homophobic or transphobic. If you are, those are thoughts that you feel like you have to keep to yourself because... Or sexist. It's another huge issue, too. Yeah. I feel that. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you in particular. I know Cooper knows, just because it's hard because I am supportive, but also I bared a lot of the force from it, but one of my siblings is trans, and I definitely worry for them a lot. But I don't mention it too often just because, I don't know, that's on the 5 with 2 of my siblings. Not problems with the transness, but I got a lot of the force of the dysphobia as a kid, and that kind of messed up a lot of my feelings on gender expression for a long time. It's like a certain level of, I can't blame them too much because I get it, they were going through a lot, but also like, accountability. So I can't really mention it like that, but you know, wish the best for her. But luckily she's moving out of a red state into a blue state, so that's something. Should be safer. But yeah, life's interesting. And I never want to mention it too because it's like, I don't want that to be a reason for people to not accept someone. Just because... Don't fall. Oh, I didn't fall. I don't want to be a reason to be like, well, you know, the process negatively affected you some. So that's why I often don't mention it, just because it's complicated. No, come on. Okay. Going with it a little bit out. But we're also very different people. That's a lot. That didn't count! Damn it. So we have problems as I have that. And then my cishet brother is just... Why are you yelling at me? I think though that's... I know a lot of people have this perspective of youngest siblings though being like, well, you're the youngest, so you were just babied. I'm like, that's not actually true. And I think a lot of it is because I have such huge age differences between my siblings, because it's 7, 13, and 16. And what I've run into is that I've had to deal with everyone else's growing up, which fair enough, we all do, and had to have grace for that, but because of the age differences, no one's had any grace with me. And it's very frustrating. It's also frustrating too because I'm a lot more mature than they were at their age too, which I can say because I lived through theirs. It's hard. Yeah. It takes a lot of years of therapy to kind of rework it. But for a while, I had to, and years we're talking about was like 4th to 6th grade-ish, I had to completely reject all femininity because part of her dysphoria was to target the bit of mine I had. I think just a bit of jealousy because I was what she wanted to be. But definitely, I had to rework through all of that as a teenager. I had to relearn femininity. A lot of that, though, I did with cosplay. Through cosplay, I learned how to do makeup. And part of what I love about cosplay, too, is that you get to play with all different styles. I get to do the super girly Barbie outfits, but I also get to do my gender bends and play with the expression of gender through all forms. There I do like gender bending because my face shape cannot do short hair. So like even my Gwen wig is a little bit too long for her anyways. So I need the framing for my face type. But I am flat anyways, so I don't have to worry about things like binding because it's not an issue for me. So I feel like I have a half and half approach to gender bending. Because it's just the hair. Everything else I keep the same. Well, it's just the hair and not binding, but again, it doesn't matter because, yeah. I don't know, it's interesting. I love cosplay though for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them is you get to play around with everything and kind of, I don't know. I also don't have a set style really, so it's fun to get to play around with every style through the characters I love. But there you go. Yeah. Well, I think too with femininity, it's really fed into as well because society still hates women so much from a patriarchal structure because women are still seen as lesser, even with as much progress we've had. And with the same time, feminine traits are still deemed as lesser. We even see this with more feminine men, both gay and straight. The more feminine traits you have, the more weak you are. And that's hard to come to terms with. This just has a society what goes on. So it's very easy to want to reject all of that because women are tough. Women feel tough. And we want to be seen as such because we are. And even, beyond that of just gender binary, having those traits, you still are tough even if you have feminine traits. But society doesn't view it like that because you need to have a penis to have any sort of power. We value a traditional suit more than we do a dress. We've all, I don't know, but we don't, and the problem is too though that society doesn't value male traits on a woman though, because if you are too commanding, you're not a boss, you're bossy. So it's just a lose-lose situation because society hates women. Essentially. It's quite the little ramble, but no, this isn't what I expected to be talking about today. I'm playing golf, but important stuff. We get into the net. Well, yeah, and I think that's the hard part too, is that yes, things are gendered, but they're also not. Oh, I remember this one. Ugh. But they're also not. I think that's the hard thing. It's like, and stuff like clothing can be so euphoric, especially for trans individuals. But then you also have to remember, on the other hand, that all things that are gendered is purely a societal construct. Pink being a girl's color is a societal construct. It's a color. There's no gender to colors, but we've made it as such. And we've made pink a lesser color because it's a feminine color, even though it's just a color. Oh yeah, I mean, we all have colors that we prefer wearing stuff. I don't wear a lot of white because, one, I'm scared of getting it dirty, but like, it washes me out. So we all have preferences in terms of clothes. I wear a lot of pink though because I'm a Barbie girl living in a non-Barbie world, and that's sad. Yeah, and I think the people who are most secure in their own gender and gender expression are the people who don't care what other people do with their own, you know? It's kind of like we were talking about the other day with bisexuality. Like, if you just outrightly hate bisexuals, oftentimes it's just because you feel threatened with your own sexuality, and like, the only reason why you would is if you're not 100%. And in that case, that's your own problem. Leave me alone. But the same way goes with gender too. Like, if you absolutely hate femininity or masculinity, you're still on that journey. And that's okay, still be on that journey, but you need to be working on it, you know? So, I am proud of you for, you know, doing the work. And doing the 3 OCs is a fantastic way. Do it! Style is fun. Debating if I let her out. Love let her out. It's fun playing around. I wear pants, a t-shirt, and a hoodie a good solid 80% of the time. Maybe 75. Since I'm not in school anymore, I do a little bit more of just random stuff. But you know, I'm in pants and t-shirt right now, and then I'm thinking of like how I'll make a cute outfit to go see the musical, right? In which I might throw on a skirt or something. But just to go to the coffee shop, pants and t-shirt. Because I'm out of shorts right now. Because my laundry day's tomorrow. Because otherwise it would be shorts because it's summer. But yeah, I mean, it's just having fun. Everything's a simulation. Everything is a societal construct. None of it matters. Like, even, I get so annoyed at people using wrong terms, too, because whenever I see people call gender male and female, or sex man and woman, I lose my mind, because no. No. Or there's only two biological sexes, because that's all wrong. So, like, we factually have biological sexes, and then gender is a social construct, and because it's a social construct, there's no biological sexes, and culture society, but then when you before it doesn't matter, it doesn't exist. I mean, it just makes people use the wrong terminology. And also, technically, we do have more biological systems anyways, because I hate because it's no, because as soon as you start taking biology, just agree. But not to start, are you female? No, not by we. It's a label. Just to blow their mind. Yeah, the pie things. At some people, it's the point, still then like immediately assuming that you're straight, you know? I feel a lot of people who hate bisexual because they were straight to bisexual to lesbian. Just because that was your path, it's not innocent for everyone else. Again, what's so from my point of view is under like men. Unfortunately. That was never the question. It was just the addition of 1990. Confusion. I know confusion. I agree. Like, I'm not, if you have any type of confusion, that is your problem, not me. It's just weird for me. Absolutely. I don't know. Just none of theirs. Let's do one more. Let's go. We are trained and stuff. They're not doing anything. I have to watch tutorials to get that. That's how dunk. Okay. Yeah, you just can't. You have to be gay or straight. And again, I feel like it's just the people insecure with themselves who feel that way. Because you have straight people who are like, I couldn't possibly have a little bit of gay in me. And then you have all the hardcore lesbians and gays of like, how could you possibly have a little bit of straight in you? I'm like, this should be the norm. But whatever. I am one of those people that feel like bisexuality should be the default assumption, and then you learn if you're straight or gay, but I digress. Because it just makes sense to have options until you kind of figure it out, but whatever. I guess we hate bisexuals for, like, I don't know, being alive. Because if there ends people who haven't figured it out. We... I think too, part of the problem too is that there is no defined, we haven't gone to like a consistent definition between bi versus pan too. So then you have all the complications of people arguing about that. I don't know. Because I'm still open to trans, but I know a lot of people aren't. And that's their definition of bisexual is not, but that's not mine. But I also am not open to everything, if that makes sense. So that's why I only consider myself pan, but we don't, I don't know, we just don't have a proper definition, and I think that confusion gets to a lot of people as well. Bam. Right? Well, again, I have someone in my life too. So, like, every time they're talking to me about partners and stuff, it's like, when you get a girlfriend or blah 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 blah, I'm like, and if I don't, it's gonna be okay. You know, I am so glad you're gonna be accepting if I get a girlfriend, but are you gonna be accepting if it's a man? Like, just say partner. Is it that hard to say partner? When I get a partner. Where am I going? Over there? Whee! And it's just a little thing. I guess that's like would be considered microaggression. Like, it's not something huge. It's just annoying enough to be invalidating. And like, why? I'm dying. Right, that's kind of how I am too with bi versus pan is. I don't really get it. Everyone has their own definition, so whatever you say, cool. I don't know. I've seen some where it's like you're attracted to souls rather than gender. I guess that's why I don't consider myself pan, because I do care about gender, I guess. But it's more about this personality. I don't know. It makes no... It just... Some things are too complicated for my brain. So whatever you say, cool. Have fun. Life's a simulation. And labels are almost meaningless. So, because labels are social constructs. So, nothing matters. Because whenever my brain gets too tired, I'm just like, it's all a social construct. It doesn't matter. Just be happy. Whee! But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess my point of view. If someone's on a date with you, well, obviously you fit into whatever their definition of bi or pan is. So, there you go. That's a pretty easy to solve that problem. Whee! And if you're not dating them, then, you know, it's not really any of your business to know their definition, so... Yeah. Absolutely. And that's, like, I know some people's definition of bisexual does not include trans people, but mine does. I am open to dating a trans man or a trans woman. So, I don't know. And, I don't know. Yeah. But here's the thing with fandoms, though, is fandoms often like to misconstrue a lot of things, though. And people also forget their headcanon is not canon. And headcanons are beautiful because sometimes, especially as a queer consumer, we do pick up on things of like, that was kind of fruity, that maybe the straight author wouldn't consider as such. So that's why, headcanons can be, I'm not making this, can be really fun is because we perceive things differently. But also, we do have to consider what's canon to a degree as well, of even if you think they have great chemistry with this other character that's same sex, it doesn't invalidate if they already have previously established same-sex attraction too, It would be, the headcanon should be opening up a little bit more, unless if it's like, think it's a case of internalized homophobia, but that's, I don't know, that's different. But people take things too far. Because I've also had conversations, well, not personally had conversations, but I have witnessed conversations of people, like, die-hardedly headcanoning a character so much that they can't enjoy the piece of media without arguing about it. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Yeah. Absolutely. It's pointing to the sides, but then there's also this little divot. I want to take the divot. That's why I follow instructions. Okay, maybe we follow instructions. I love headcanons. It's just the people who take it so far that they can't enjoy the canon, Like, why are you arguing to people that you think Bakudeku is the greatest ship on the planet, and if you ship anything else, you're just homophobic? Which is a terrible ship as is, but that's another issue. And I like Bakugo too. But, in general, not the healthiest relationship to be with someone who bullied you your entire childhood, even if they are better, That's an entirely different issue. But I like Bakugo and Kirishima, so that's where I stand on that. I think the fact that Bakugo packed his clothes for him in the first movie is hilarious, but I digress. Kirishima's clothes. That's more gay to me than anything that happens with Bakudeku. Bam! But I'm also not, caught up on manga or anything like that, so Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and there's just some really gay shit I'm missing. Wait, oh, no. But headcanons can go wrong for numerous reasons beyond that, too. Because I have some issue when people have the children ships, too. Not with simply having them, but how they go about doing them. Like, if we're talking about Spy Family, I love Damien and Anya, but I do not consume any content of them as a child. Like, the content I love of them is either as teenagers or adults. Like, or like the college age. Because there's some really cute fan art of them that's like teenage college age. And it's really cute. But I do not ship actual literal children. It's like, I like the idea of them, but no child needs to be in a relationship. And some people do that. I'm like, that's a 5-year-old. No. Well, the 5-year-olds can... No, they can't. No, I don't even want them hugging. Unless I'm as a canon. Because people do weird shit. I know, fandom arguments are just like, it's not deep. It's really not that deep. But yeah, I love Kiribaku. I think if we're talking about like any gay ship I headcanon, and my hero is them because there's actual, I feel like enough evidence to be like, why are you packing his clothes? And why is he the only... That entire, like, season 3 grabbing his head. It's like... Yeah. But I also feel like Bakugo would be bisexual, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but that's how I headcanon him. Like, I feel like him and Kirishima, but... I don't know. That's just my own perspective, though. Right? Like, I get why people would, in theory, ship Bakudeku if it wasn't so unhealthy. But I also come from ships from a perspective of psychology, too, and if it's an unhealthy ship, I'm out. And that goes for a lot of, like, I read a lot of romance books, and that's my #1 deterrent for romance books is, it's like, if you don't have consent, I'm out. If you don't have a healthy foundation, if all you're doing is having sex, I'm out. Absolutely not. And there is psychological problems with being with someone who bullied you your entire childhood. Even if Bakugo has grown as a person, in which we have seen him... Well, again, I'm not caught up with the manga, but we've at least seen a little bit of improvement from what I've seen from just being an asshole. It's just still, I still want to be healthy. Bum! Come on, get in there. Nope. I know, I love when, like, just the, yeah, the pride of the headcanon becoming canon. I know. Well, that's my #1 issue with My Hero, is that we've established so many really cool characters, but we're not giving enough development to the ones we've established, you know? Like, I want to see more of the class. I want to see more of the villains we've established. But then we keep adding new characters. I also find, like, I think One for All is such a boring villain compared to how many really cool villains we've established. I don't know. But I have that problem with other things too. There's a lot of my problems with stuff like Harry Potter as well. And so we've established like an entire school of characters that we proceed to ignore. And it doesn't mean I don't enjoy stories, even though they do stuff like that. But it definitely does take away a little bit from enjoyment when I want to see more of people and it just doesn't happen, even though it could have. Yeah, enemies to lovers. I find more often enemies to lovers is so fine line. Most of the enemies to lovers I enjoy is a lot more rivals to lovers than like enemies. Because rivals to lovers doesn't mean we're insulting people and treating people like shit, you know? It's more so just, you know, but can you keep up with me? And like that type of banter can be really fun. Well, that was clearly not the right one. Bam! Oh! Okay, I finally found it. Beep. Nope. Gonna have to go this way, I think. Yeah. That's why I want to do like a lot of side stories and stuff too with my characters, is because I've created a lot that I really like. I do think it's important to, even the incidental characters, make them feel like real people. But for creating really engaging characters, we want to see more of them. So that's why I really want to do all these different side stories and stuff, because they're not the main characters of the story, but I have lots of these characters who have direct roles in the story, but we're not going to see too much of them except for here and there. But I love them enough, though, that I want to give them their full moment. And, you know, elaborate on this world I've already created. How am I supposed to do this? Wee! Pop out. Jump out. Come on, let's go. Wee! Getting higher. Okay. If I just streamline, no. Oh. Oh! Okay, that was a fire save. I don't know. That's why, like, one of the things I think Fullmetal Alchemist does so good is that we have a lot of characters that pop up, but we are still very focused on just our main two, you know. This is the story about these two brothers, but there is so much else going on, and we have so many other characters. And all of those other characters feel like individual humans, but we only see as much of them as Ed and Al would see. And it's that type of writing that I think is really engaging. That's why Fullmetal Alchemist is my biggest inspiration. Whee! Let's go! Bum, bum, bum! Is this fire? Okay, I think I'm just gonna chill now. We've gotten 4 achievements. That's something. It's really hot too. It's like I am indoors. Like I can feel the back sweat coming on. Summer, why do you do this to us? Quit. I can't quit. Do. Let's go. We have more achievements. Loaded. Yeah, 50 bars. I don't need the stomach guys update. Oh, thanks for chatting with me. Because inspiration changes based on which book it is. That's fair. I mean, I've really focused my attention to just being, just the one series right now, and all of those are, inspirations are kind of the same for that. But if I look at some of the other books I've started that are not within that series, I'm definitely gets into the other inspirations. Lo-fi, because in modern day romance does not require the same inspirations as, you know, fantasy world building. Hey, Hunger Games is fire. It's good inspiration, especially creating political drama. I usually go to Fullmetal Alchemist. It's definitely the biggest, it's just because it's so phenomenally crafted. Zelda a lot in terms of world building, same with Final Fantasy. But a lot of my structure in the world is kind of related to Zelda in regards of like we have distinct separate parts all within the same kingdom. I don't have different races and stuff like that like Zelda does, but you know, different regions and how each region has its own distinct elements. Recently took a little bit of inspiration from Merlin and some of the relationship dynamics. Recently, like 5 months ago, you know. I know. Just like, I want to write so much that I only have time to dedicate to one thing. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah. This takes all my time. And it's frozen. It's fine. Beep. Beep. Yeah, for sure. I think that's the fun thing about inspirations too, is what do you take from it and what's your own. Like my kingdom is still very different than Zelda because it's a lot less of the magical situations and stuff, but still, you know, like the distinct architecture and music and sound and way of life between each region is different. Yep. Fullmetal too. It's not too many similarities, it's just the craftsmanship of it that's really inspiring. But it's almost like I like Fullmetal Alchemist or something. Yeah, totally. I can see that. That's the thing too, because as artists we're continuously inspired. Because everything is... all art is inspiration. And all nature is inspiration. You know, anything you see naturally occurring. Whether it's nature itself, or, you know, conversations you overhear about people, or world situations of today. Because that's definitely been a bit of my inspiration in regards to the political sphere in my book recently. Just like, well, we have fascism. Whoa! Don't have to look far for that. That book's musical. Yeah. For sure, for sure. Yeah. Everything we've ever consumed is an inspiration, whether you realize it or not, too. Even when I look at the... do I even still have it? Like, the earliest drafts of this book? It was a lot more similar to the type of books I read when I was in 4th, 5th grade. Those types of fantasy books, rather than what I... I'm so screwed, guys. I need to get a thumb drive just to move some stuff off. Yeah. It's so bad. Oh yeah. My 4th grade pen name. Yeah. For sure.
Genevieve woke up excited.
She quickly got ready for her day. Genevieve lived alone in a decrepit shack. She was very quiet. Genevieve rarely left her house. This confused people. How she got food or water was a mystery, but that can be saved till later. What does that mean? What is that? Oh yeah, she had red hair. A little over 6 feet tall. I love that. And, well, okay, one of my other inspirations is Arcane or League of Legends, kind of as a whole, in the fact of we still have some societal discrimination, but it's much more on classism than anything else. We don't have sexism, we don't have racism, we don't have homophobia. And looking back here, you know, no one thought Genevieve could win this. Mostly because she was a girl. Also, no one knew what she was capable of. Ugh. Yeah, I need to catch up on yours too. But I need... Genevieve is different. Many cases. She's very powerful, I guess you could say.
What was I?
Try and go for her. Like, Genevieve, he's not your person. Why not? Mostly because it's rude. Oh my god. Lugubrious. Lugubrious is a fire word. It's just the way I used it. It was not pleasant. And you see, this is like my overly formal language mixed with 4th grade, 5th grade writing, because I do tend to lean into too formal sometimes, because a lot of fantasy. And then, but also leaning into the very Gen Z way of speech. It's a very odd mix, and that's something I need to fine line in my book a little bit more, and try to keep it to the formal language is going to be more with the nobles, and a little bit more relaxed Gen Z is going to be a little bit more with the commoner side of things. Yeah. I popped into the shops for a pregnancy test. Whenever I'm secret when I'm not a girly girl. Yeah. I'm flip-flopping between I'm so close to finishing it, but then also, like, I wrote some of, not prologue, but like, when, like, over here, I was messing with them when they first met a little bit more, of what would have been natural for them. But I've also been in a really weird headspace the past week, a little bit more of like the depressive, which is what Jen is supposed to have. So I'm trying to remember, like, okay, this is what I need to be writing with her, especially at the beginning of the storyline. Because she is alone. She's been alone for 6 years. And she's been in and out of having friends, but it's not, you know. Fair enough. Let's see what other horrible writing you find. It's a long paragraph. Black on black clothing, including black cloak. And picklocks. The back of Doom is not actually the real back of Doom. Which was not pleasant. Castle is just cheesy. The definition of stereotype of castle, that's not even real English. You cry.
Julia, and obviously in very different
ways. Nothing has changed. Short story of Genevieve. Mostly because Genevieve had the most information out of everyone. I also think, too, when you write this young, a lot of the characters are so... I mean, every story an author writes is from their perspective. But, especially when you're younger, I feel like it's very much self-inserty if you're what you're trying to be. Whereas, like, I've given a lot of my heart to Jen and Luke currently, but they're still very distinct from me. Like, they each have a part of me, but it's only a part, you know? Yeah, for sure. Because we have our own writing style, our own perspective, so it's all going to be a little bit different. Oh, the cows. The magical cows. And then this was a high school retelling of them. I love saying that's a story for later. I'm not explaining this. You may be wondering why she said her name is Ruby and not Jennifer. That's a story for later. Couldn't spell rectangle. Julia Ivory instead of Bassett. Unwelcome. Genevieve was depressed, like, really depressed. She had to leave everything behind her. Yeah, this definitely wasn't a self-insert. The only problem is Genevieve had to move far, far away. Almost like to a different continent. This pleased no one. Genevieve was starting in her new school, wondering if it was going to do her any good to her current situation. She can handle lots of crazy things. She can handle a year of school, right? Debatable. What other weird stuff do I have in the old stories? The start. This is pirates. Pirates. Piratey.
I feel like it would be fun to
Pirate mysteries? Oh yeah, all of my books are, well, these days. No, when I was younger, these days in the first person. I think a lot of that too is the...
Ew, this is formatted kind of fire. It's funny. Girl. What?
I'm very young for having a part-time job. How'd you get in here? I always... This was definitely not Pirates of the Caribbean inspired either. Blacksmith, breaking in, duel. And a British accent. Why are the pirates British? School. This was earlier though, this was 3rd grade. I was originally in on a composition notebook, so, you know, the other one, Genevieve, was a binder, a lot more, you know, classy. Yeah, that's fair.
She lived in a one-room
Crippled shack. Girls weren't allowed to fight, but Clara didn't give up.
Let me push her out.
And this was... These two characters were supposed to be inspired by Elysian. I don't know. What's his face from Fire Emblem? It's fantastic. How do you pronounce that? Back on book 2. We had the end of a book. She lived on a pirate for the most part of her life, so for most of her, oh my god. It's terrible. It's horrible. And superheroes are now as Dick Grayson fanfic, essentially.
This is a little bit.
And this is a little bit more competent. But not much of it. Fair enough. English 1 honors short story. Where is it? Oh, I remember what that was about. The cows. Books. She lived on a pirate. Seriously? I know, she lived on a pirate. What's in progress? What's this about? Oh, this is just the interlude. That's right. I had a separate thing for it. Quartet? What's quartet? Oh, yeah, when it was supposed to be a quartet. But I don't have. Oh no, I didn't mean to close out the tab. I didn't have enough in me for a quartet. It just doesn't function like that. Oh, you want to break the fourth wall? This is gay. I know what this is. Gay stuff. I like from spring to winter. That doesn't make sense. That's not consecutive. Ideas. Let's see, what's the ideas? Quartet, pirate mysteries, lovers to enemies, Yuri slice of life, Yuri, Bonnie and Clyde, gothic romance. I don't know what that means. Marriage of convenience, mind twist, French fairy tale. This is a short story I did for my French class in French. PLDS class. Ex-mercenary. Okay. Okay. Past me. I don't know what you were yapping about. Orchestrated circus. One of the ones I would bring back the most that I started. It's not my main series. They're fun. I like the name too because it's a double meaning because she's a circus girl and he's an orchestra boy. And, you know, they've created this chaos, so it's an orchestrated, yeah, circus. Oh, poetry, oh, no, nothing here. Original, yeah, poetry. Power struggle. Oh, the French fairy tale. So I wrote it all in English and then translated it out. Very Your Throne inspired, the webtoon. Psyche and media. Random scenes. Oh no, I don't think we actually want to click on that. Now that I'm using my brain cells. Now we have lots of random stuff over here. Prologue, my storyline. Lucille! I want to do one of her. She's the one I struggle with figuring out how to format the most. This covers a lot of years. Stella and Patricia. Trent and Caleb. I think, though, I might split them up and have Trent and his girl, and then Caleb have his one with Isaac.
Just to actually.
Just because I think they work the best. Next, my lesbians, we love them. It's pretty sure right now. Not my stomach. Da, 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 da. Oh, my random school stuff.
Fanfic.
What was that? Oh! We're closing that too. Bug. Oh yeah, I did a Regency-esque short story for school too. It's not the formatted version though. Another short story. Essay. Slaying the air of the pirate one. No. Oh no! Okay, I remember what that was. It's not the pirate one. That one was interesting.
Study for.
How many untitled documents? Oh, was it when it leaves beneath the ground? No, that was tires, right? Yeah. His character study I did for school. Oh god. So I can't be spoken. No. No, that was Lucille. My character study for her. I have one about the pirates, and it kind of went hard. I like that. It's just the untitled document of. So I done 2 different lines, 2 different sizes to cut out to put onto my nutcracker. Why am I doing my own eyes? Nutcracker for Clara. So there you go. I ended up with these. Yeah. Chaos. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and dip so I can start getting ready for the musical. But thank you for chatting with me. I love you. We don't chat enough. I promise sometime within the next week I will actually join one of your streams too. Today was just kind of a roll with it kind of day. So, here we are. But I thoroughly enjoy chatting, and stream's really laggy. I'm only just now seeing the Eric eyes. Oh, I'll wait until it catches up, but it's nice chatting. No, Flamin really missed out on some important discussions here, you know? He didn't get to hear about how she lived on a pirate. Someone being shy and lugubrious, living in a one-bedroom decrepit shack. Or just all the internalized sexism. It's fantastic. You know, we're doing great. Or how depressed Genevieve was for having to move. Yeah. It's fascinating. But you know it is because you had a whole series reading your whole books, which is fantastic. This is a fantastic video series. I don't think I could do that just